Hello, good morning. You know that this Indian Ocean region is a strategically very important area for India in its internal and external security point of view. So, Indian Ocean is a vast water body. So, and it stretches beyond India to from Asia to Africa. So, Indian Ocean serves as a strategic bridge with the nations in Indian immediate and extended maritime neighborhood. It not only acts as a bridge in India's immediate neighborhood, but also they extend the maritime neighborhood to other continent. That's why here lies the importance of Indian Ocean for India. Fine. So the national and economic interest of India are inseparably linked up with the Indian Ocean. It is not only the security interest but also the economic interest. So here it is. You can say the national security interest as well as the economic interest of India. They are inseparably linked with the Indian Ocean. Fine. And we are right now trying to develop this Indian Ocean region to a strong and stable region and develop through the blue economy. The new development, the new concept called the blue economy. The role of India in the region is evident in its vision of Sagar. We have learned the Sagar initiative. The Sagar stands for security and growth for all in the region. The short form of security and growth for all in the region in short form is called as Sagar. This initiative has been launched by Government of India to make this region more secure and ensure growth. So make it secure and promote growth of all the countries in the maritime region of Indian Ocean. So this Sagar initiative is very important. Remember this. What is this Sagar initiative initiated by Government of India? So to secure and ensure growth of all the countries in the Indian Ocean region. Let now discuss about the different aspect. So how this region is important and how it is going to or what measures have been taken by India to promote this. So the first point that we discuss is it is in the as the net security provider. The Indian Ocean has always enjoyed a place of prominence in global strategy because of its strategic location. So it's a global strategy because of its strategic location. Many nations have established a presence in the region to ensure their strategic interest. Even USA entered into Indian Ocean region, leaving the Pacific Ocean much behind. So it has established a military base in the Geography region of Indian Ocean. Fine. So this is all because this region is very important and other nations have having interest to enter into this region. So okay. So however, India has always been a keen supporter to the cause of keeping this Indian Ocean a zone of peace. It is India's desire to maintain Indian Ocean as a zone of peace, IOZP, as it is in short called Indian Ocean as zone of peace. India's new vision for maritime security is comprehensively articulated in ensuring secure seas and Indian maritime security strategy. The secure sea from the security point of view and the maritime security strategy means it is not only about the defense preparedness but the maritime trade and how the maritime trade will be secured in this region because this region is a major trade route or sea route used not only by India but by so many other countries around the world. So the maritime security strategy is another important area which India has been emphasizing. Fine. So here lies the issue that the new vision for maritime security is comprehensively articulated in ensuring secure seas and Indian maritime security strategy. A document by Indian Navy which clarifies that Navy's interest area cover Red Sea, Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden, Indian Ocean island nations, Southwest Indian Ocean, east coast of Africa, littoral countries, among many other nations and areas. Because you see, so this is a very vast and extended area. So the busiest route, like the Gulf of Aden, the Gulf of Oman, they are all busiest route in maritime trade. The Red Sea has its own importance, and the island oceans in Indian Ocean are strategically located and can be used as defense base by countries to influence this region as well as to promote their naval interest in this region. So, keeping this all in view, so it is Indian strategy to ensure that this region remain strong, stable, secure. So everyone will be getting benefit from this region and their development will be linked with the Indian Ocean. Fine. So the biggest threat in this area of maritime trade, the issue of piracy. Piracy is a very old, age-old activity. Pirates were there since the maritime trade started. And even in the modern age, the pirates become sophisticated. They use technology, they use advanced weapons, and they became more organized, cadre based. The Somalian pirates have spread havoc in the region. And the other issue is terrorism being spread using the maritime route. We all have suffered the maritime terrorism when the Mumbai terror attack took place because the terrorists who came from Pakistan, they came through the sea routes. They landed in Mumbai and they carry on their activity of terrorism in Mumbai, killing many, destroying property worth crores. So maritime terrorism is the big headache for the countries in the border of oceans because terrorists are right now using the sea route are the easiest route to infiltrate inside the country and launch terror attacks. So both piracy and maritime terrorism. So two things: one is piracy, one is maritime terrorism, has become one of the major threats to the stability in the region. So there we have to consider this. So for this, we are conducting many bilateral exercises, the Malabar exercise, and exercise or bilateral exercise with the neighboring countries in this region are being conducted at regular interval to ensure that our sea routes remain protected, they remain safe and secure, and apart from ensuring security from the defense point of view, the maritime activity using sea route is well protected, and the sea acts as a safe and secured route for international trading activities. Fine. Indian security efforts in Indian Ocean have already begun to take concrete shape with the transfer of Indian-made patrol vessel to Mauritius and deployment of the P-8I aircraft to Seychelles for surveillance of its exclusive economic zone. The agreement to develop connectivity infrastructure in Algeria, in Agalega in Mauritius. India's only tri-service command at Andaman Nicobar Island is working on expanding the military effectiveness of its outpost at the juncture of Bay of Bengal and Andaman Sea. So we are trying our best, and this is what is India's objective, and India want to follow this for a safe and secure Indian Ocean region with no compromise on that. Apart from national security, from the defense point of view, what has been highlighted by India is the maritime trade route security. Because in the present era, trade is to be promoted, and maritime trade has a very bright prospect. Because India's water body or vast coastline open wide prospect for India to carry on maritime activities or maritime trade. That is what is important. Right? Come to the second point, humanitarian disaster relief operations. Second point is what in this region is the humanitarian and disaster relief operations. India has been playing an effective role in humanitarian and disaster relief operations. It not only rescued citizens of India but also provided assistance to other countries. For example, Indian efforts have been extended to disaster relief in other countries like assistance to Indonesia and Sri Lanka following tsunami, Myanmar after the cyclone, Bangladesh after the cyclone, Sri Lanka after the cyclone, and Operation Neer to provide water to Maldives after fire destroyed its water treatment plants. Sea route is used to provide humanitarian assistance to the neighboring countries. And recently we dispatched huge amount of medicines and wheat to Sri Lanka through the sea route. Can say in the recent time, so what India provided, Indian food aid and medicine supply along with energy like petrol and diesel to Sri Lanka are all through the sea route. So this manifests India's proactiveness in using its sea routes to get the benefit, to give benefit to the nations in need. This is a very important development in our Indian important approach in Indian sea or ocean-led development or ocean-led interaction. Moving forward, the blue economy, as you all know, The ocean-led development is popularly called as the blue economy. What is this? This is popularly known as blue economy or ocean-led development. To realize the blue economy potential, the Ministry of Shipping has launched the Sagarmala project. This is the ocean-led development. For the land route, we have the Bharatmala program. So, what is that? Bharatmala. And for the ocean route, we have the Sagarmala project. The strategic initiative for port-led development through the extensive use of information technology-enabled services for modernizing the ports. Blue economy is based on using locally available resources and employ renewable inputs that addresses the problems of resource scarcity and enables sustainable development. Fine. So, according to Niti Aayog, the development of blue economy can serve as a growth catalyst in realizing the vision to become a 110 trillion economy by 2032, as quoted by the Prime Minister. The blue chakra of India, national flag, represents the potential of the blue economy, ocean-led development. It's rich minerals. So the sea routes for maritime trade, they all are right now being explored by India for its own economic development. That is the most important aspect in this situation. Fine. Then through this sea route, what are the other activities in the Indian Ocean region that India has done? So the ocean of churn, merchants and artisans who settled in those countries over millennia brought with them their culture, ethos and traditions. The region accepted these visitors as their own and in turn the fusion that arose was the creation of emerging shared cultures, not found by the political boundary or the monopoly of any single nation. The engagement of Indian diaspora in the region through Pravasi Bharatiya Dipas is increasing their role in Indian growth strategy or growth story. So Indian Ocean region houses many countries where the Indians have been settled. Indians have been settled since ancient time. And this Indian settlement in some other countries, so during the British period, you can take it into the three different phases. The ancient period, very few Indians went abroad and worked there. In the British period, they were hired as laborers to work in the plantation and other area of those colony in foreign countries. And in the post-independent period, so many Indians migrate to other countries in search of better opportunities. The three different categories of Indians have migrated to other country using the sea route. Fine. And they all have served India's interest with those countries in a more proactive manner. The advantage of this that Indian diaspora is 17.5 million. You know, this composition is around 17.5 million Indians abroad in more than 100 countries. They make their presence felt as participant in the politics and administration of the country, as established traders, as technocrats, and as cultural ambassadors. They all spread India beyond the geographical extent of India to those countries where they are settled. Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian practices, Indian literature, Indian food, Indian dress, attire. They all have taken that and popularized them in those countries. And they have made it well accepted there. Right? Indian food chains or restaurants have become very popular. Indian dress, so they became very popular and accepted among those countries, people of that country. Indian cultural dance form, music, movie, etc. So it command much popularity in those countries. And they all are possible because of our people, the Indian diaspora in that country. Those who acted as cultural ambassadors of India. But they acted as cultural ambassadors of India. They spread India beyond Indian territory. That is what. And we at the government of India level are organizing the Prabhasi Bharatiya Divas regularly. We are honoring some of them with Prabhasi Bharatiya Samman. Fine. So that is the issue why we are giving that much emphasis to the Indian diaspora. And we have given them right to work here, property rights here, and even we have granted them political right to participate or to cast their vote, although they are not allowed to contest elections. But one of their long-standing demand that let us be given the political right to vote has been accepted by the government. This is one of the biggest development in Indian diaspora context. The government is serious and its seriousness is expressed through its decision to give political right to the diaspora people to come and vote and select their representatives inside India, although they are staying in a foreign country. Fine. Then coming to, so India is a major space power. The next point that we'll discuss, space technology. India is a major space power in the world. Our ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, has the credibility of developing satellites as well as launch vehicles. Its PSLV is the most trusted launch vehicle in the world. Its PSLV is the cheapest launch vehicle in the world. It can launch the satellites of the country at a much cheaper rate, as well as it has been launching its majority of Indian owned satellites. And in the same direction, we have launched our satellites in three different categories, like the INSAT satellite, the IRA satellites, and the IRNSS satellites. This is for telecom, TV, internet, etc. This is for resources mapping. Resources mapping. And this is for navigation. First to be used or experimentally, this is called as Navik. So experimental being used, and once its worth is established, its capability is tested and evaluated, it will be extended to all Indians in near future. And our excessive dependence on America for the GPS services will be over. Because once we develop our own system, so no need to be on the dictates or terms of other countries. Once we are able to once we are able to experiment, the experiment is going on right now. Once it is completed, so we will launch our own Navig system, and this will be provided to India and its neighboring countries to replace the dependence on the American GPS for all our navigation purposes. Fine. Then South Asian satellites we have launched. The GSAT-9 or the South Asian satellite India has launched exclusively for the Indian Ocean region countries, and it is also being used by some of them. These are the strategy adopted by India in promoting the interest in Indian Ocean. What is its policy on Indian Ocean? Let's discuss on that. The Indian Maritime Security Strategy, published by the National Navy, articulates the country's policy in the Indian Ocean region. It states that in the Indian Ocean region, India is committed to what is India's commitment extended to ensuring a safe and stable. What is the first one? Ensuring a safe and stable Indian Ocean region. As we discussed first, deepening security cooperation through increased surveillance and monitoring with regional partners. Right? So, security cooperation is to be deepened or to be strengthened through increased surveillance by all the countries, so the infiltration can be checked, so the terror outfit can be controlled, so the unlawful element will not be able to create any trouble, including the pirates in the region. Fine. And this is through partnership with the regional countries. No country can do it on its own. It's not possible. So partnership of countries can ensure the entry of unlawful elements, will drag the process, will not be asset as the liability for the system. Forging a multilateral cooperative maritime security initiative in the Indian Ocean to combat terrorism and piracy. These two, piracy and terrorism, although being old, are very important and are the biggest threat to the maritime security of India. Piracy was there since time the trade started, but terrorism using the sea routes are finding place right now. So these two are to be checked. These two are to be checked. So India always want that terrorism and piracy came to an end in this region. And there are some countries in the region who are apprehensive of that not of the terrorists but of the pirates, because they know that the pirates can cause massive destruction to them, massive damage to their assets. That's why they always try to have a good relationship. But in case of India's active involvement, so it is coming under the this terror activities. So India will be able to take its proactive role in this domain. Then building Indian Ocean region as a frontier of sustainable economic development. The prospect of developing Indian Ocean region जो ଏଇଟା क्वेश्चन गुड़ाक जो यार डेवलपमेंट काली क्लास पर दे दंतु fine. So this is where it needs to be developed. India's preparedness for this critical role in the region is seen in the joint strategic vision with US. Japan's inclusion into the Malabar exercise and bilateral exercise with a country like Japan, Australia, Indonesia, etc. We have from the Quad, we have from the BIMSTEC, we have from the IORA. So the biggest association in this region is IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Association, or IORA. Okay, it is the Indian Ocean Rim Association, IORA. That is BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical Economic Cooperation. There is Quad. Fine. So they're all agreements, cooperations for development, and India is a very proactive member in all the forum. Fine. Indian foreign policy is centered to providing security and political stability to its maritime neighborhood, which includes Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, in the face of China's expanding naval and strategic activity in the Indian Ocean. Since few years, China is becoming bullish hegemonic in the Indian Ocean region, and it has put its claim to the South China Sea and East China Sea. East China Sea dispute is with Japan, and South China Sea dispute with Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc. Fine. And the project Mosum has been launched. Okay. So for the people of this region, the Indian Ocean world. Fine. So after discussing this, let's think what for challenges. What are the challenges for India with the presence of China and Pakistan in the Indian Ocean region? So these two countries are very close. Both are hostile of India, and enemy's enemy is friend. In this light, they united. Chinese aggressive soft power diplomacy has been the most important element in shaping the Indian Ocean strategic environment. It is own diplomacy. It has the acceptability. Transforming the entire region's dynamics by providing large loans to generous repayment terms, investment, offering military assistance and political support, China has secured considerable goodwill and influence among countries in the Indian Ocean region. The Chinese strategy was like the previous American strategy of providing some finance and making the country close to it. Fine. So India can rectify from this situation, and so India can improve its situation and counter China. China has become the largest donor to Sri Lanka, replacing Japan, and we have seen the consequence in recent time. How Japan, that Sri Lanka crushed, how the Sri Lankan crisis get aggravated, and who and why it is possible. Fine. Chinese submarine and surface forces are growing both qualitatively and quantitatively, and those forces are expanding operations beyond their traditional areas. So, what is not their traditional area? So, they are also entering into that. So, you see, China has taken over the Haboltona port in Sri Lanka, but we have seen the that recent Chinese indebtedness of Sri Lanka and the Sri Lankan common civilian rights. Fine. So these are all lessons for the country, as well as also they are the lesson for India also, you can say. So without these, so it is not possible on their part to go for this. Fine. Okay. China, through its presence in the maritime Silk Road and developing a blue water navy, with its aggressive policy of expansion, will pose a security threat to Indian Ocean as it has done to other countries. So, India is apprehensive that this Chinese policy would continue, so the country will be in trouble. So, they may say that we need the so that is to be done, right? So, Chinese. So at present, everyone has been very clear about the Chinese nefarious design, and this has given a wide scope to India to establish itself as the most caring country, most efficient country, democratic country, where progress is possible with all the restraints. But unlike China, where progress is completely off-guarded. So coming to the challenges posed by Pakistan. With regard to Pakistan, the establishment of the Naval Strategic Force Command in 2012 could pretend a failure in which Pakistan employing nuclear weapons at the sea. So the recent modernization of India defense forces, which is going on full swing, can be shared as a futuristic program to checkmate China. Fine. The state-sponsored terrorist activity as well as other terrorist organizations based in Pakistan use Indian Ocean as its Mumbai terror attack in 28 to spread its terrorist activity. So they are the unlawful elements even among the terrorists. So they themselves they destroyed. So they don't know what the structure. That is what. So yes. So Pakistan spread it and attack the soft targets. Pakistan's move to acquire at least 8 diesel submarines fitted with air independent propulsion system from China time frame adds more uncertainty to the surface mix. Operational control over the Pakistan's the Dar port will help China to encounter Indian Navy directly. So these, even in Sri Lanka, they established the port. In Pakistan, through the string of pearl policy, they are exporting these things. So this is where steps have to be taken. So in the challenges faced, we have to be optimistic that the day will not far when this solution will be able to look at the solution. Till that, remember this, read this chapter, and any query, so feel free to discuss. So we'll be taking over such more topics in the times to come. Thank you.